I was so worried that the aliens had taken out a satellite and that you wouldn't be able to attach to the call, Gareth.
Yeah.
That was so scary for me.
How
Aliens
amazing
are
would
real.
that be if Independence Day happened while we were talking about Independence Day?
That would be the worst.
Yeah, actually, I'd hate that.
I really don't want to tempt fate when it comes to disaster movies at the moment, just because there's so much horrible stuff happening in the world
Right.
constantly. And
Yeah.
ever since we started this show, we didn't cause it, but yeah, no. Like,
No. Like, it
Yeah.
wouldn't even be that much of a surprise if it was just like,
Nah.
oh, Independence Day's happening.
yeah, that'd be like, yeah, okay, that tracks, I guess.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Oh,
even.
the aliens have seen Independence Day as well. They know what to do to avoid
shit.
a computer virus.
True. Yeah, Independence Day gives like a really clear instruction on how to destroy Earth, like a step-by-step guide.
Yeah.
Kind of wild that people made that.
It's probably like one of the only medias that they've specifically made impossible to beam into space.
Okay. How would they do that? With
I don't know.
some kind of alien tech?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I remember half watching a documentary that was like, when you get to this part of space, you can still hear radio waves from the 50s, and when you get to this
Oh.
part, you can still hear radio waves from the 40s.
All right.
So I assume they just cut Independence Day out of those waves.
Hopefully. It's just
Yeah.
lead-lined DVD cases and
Yeah,
yeah. Only
that explains why
available.
my Disney Plus subscription was made of lead.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah, I was wondering about that. It's some kind of like Mandalorian tie-in with like a lot of lead talk, but no,
Yeah.
it's specifically because Independence Day's on there. I've got a bit loopy after watching Independence Day. Oh no!
Oh, let's crack into talking about it.
All right, crack on in.
I'm going to keep most of that preamble, so listeners, welcome. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hey.
This is Pink Floyd. It's a podcast where we watch every movie ever made to see if it syncs up with Pink Floyd's 1973 magnum opus, The Dark Side of the Moon. And my name is Gareth Blackler, and joining me is James Barron.
That's right. Oh, that's true. Hi, I'm James Barron.
I tried to hit you with the no comma approach that time.
It worked. That was a great run-on sentence. I loved it.
Thank you. In this show, we take all commas, but we don't take any commas.
Wow, that's a good saying. I like that. Sweet.
Thank you. I was so expecting like a laugh break that I took a huge sip of sparkling water.
You can edit in some laughs.
Oh, good.
I'll allow you to do that.
All right, deal.
We watched Independence Day this time. That's why we're
Yeah.
a bit mad. This is a long one, a long movie, similar
Yeah.
length to Avatar. Well, like
Yeah.
not 3 hours, but 2.5. So an
Yeah.
epic length. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I watched it sans Pink Floyd because I'd never seen it on Friday,
really?
but I did get a phone call during it and missed a huge chunk.
Oh no.
Which meant watching it with Pink Floyd was very surprising. Like, I did not know they talked to an alien at one point.
Oh, you missed that bit. Oh man, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild. That's a good bit. Dang.
Yeah. How was it for you? Are you an Independence Day boy?
I'm fairly independent as a man. But I like this movie. I've seen it before. It's all right. I haven't like fully paid attention to it.
No.
In that it's like definitely like a background blockbuster where there's a lot of table talk happening, right? Like a lot of people just talking about missions and ops and various things. And so I feel like the last time I watched it, super wasn't paying attention until the world blew up. Like, until the aliens started doing stuff, I was like, yeah, I get it. Hoorah, America. And then and then that happened, and I was like, oh, okay. Now you got me. Now I'm
It
here.
is so strange. Like, I can't imagine anyone watching this in a cinema. It's so, like you said, a background blockbuster.
For sure, yeah. 1996, right? So
Yeah.
they were coming out in droves for the Independence Day. I hear it did quite well, so, you know.
Yeah, it was a surprise. And they rushed it because they wanted to make this movie and then they heard Mars Attacks was being made.
Oh,
And they
right.
had to get it out, A, to meet Independence Day,
Yeah.
and B, to beat Mars Attacks because they couldn't have it come out after a parody, essentially, of it came out.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be an issue. By the way, Mars Attacks, I would say, is a superior movie, but that's my hot take at the top of the show.
Yeah,
We can
Mars Attacks
square
rules.
that away. But
Did you know they had to really there's a speech in there about how it's Independence Day.
Yeah.
And Earth is getting its independence. They had to really put that in to ensure they had the rights to use the title Independence Day, because weirdly, Warner Brothers owned the rights to Independence Day, the
What?
holiday.
they own the holiday?
I
That's
guess so.
insanity.
They owned the idea of titling a movie Independence Day.
Holy shit. Does like Hallmark own Valentine's? Do they own Christmas?
Whoa.
Like,
There's got to be
they
a studio that puts out more Christmas movies and must own... No, sure, I don't think you can own Christmas.
I'm pretty sure Hallmark put out like 100 Christmas movies every year, right?
Yeah.
It definitely feels that way if they don't. I'm fairly certain that statistic is accurate, but like that implies maybe Christmas is public domain, and they're just utilizing that so much. But that's wild. That is the most America thing I've ever heard of. That their Independence Day is owned by a movie studio. What?
Do you think
mad.
maybe it's an arms race, and you've got to make like the majority of Christmas movies in order to get the rights to Christmas movies? And at the moment, nobody has made over 50%. So that's why
I
like
like
Netflix
that, yeah.
and Hallmark are just like churning them out.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, it's like company ownership law. If you make the most, if you've got 50% of the Christmas share, then you get to make all decisions about Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
And
Santa Claus has to work for you.
yeah. Yeah, Hallmark's pulling all the strings at that point. It's like, no more gifts, only cards. Cards and bad movies. That's what we got. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're Santa Claus now. Oh no. The true Santa
That's
Claus.
the Santa Claus. Oh,
Yeah.
same joke.
Yay, got there.
Yes.
We're in sync here on Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
We're also wildly off track.
Yeah, let's do it. What we like to do here on Independence Day. What we like to do here on Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
we're trying to own the name as well.
in like late March probably.
Yeah.
What we actually like to do, yeah.
What we like to do is we sync our movies with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Mm-hmm. This movie was 3 and 2 songs.
Yeah.
Worth of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
That's
and
right.
what we're going to do is we're going to tell you how these scenes synced up. And I've never really explained the show like that before, but here you go.
That is what we do. That's exactly right. So I'm ready to do it. I'm ready.
I've had 2 embarrassing moments in the last month. One was when I was watching Independence Day, and we got a really good sync, and I paused it and looked at friend of the show Madeline Smith, and said, "There was a really good sync just then." And explained the sync, and she was mildly interested, and I was like, "Oh, maybe this show's not good." And that's coming from a frequent guest.
Is the second part of that embarrassing moment that you didn't pause the music in the background and had to resync it back together?
That has happened several times in this movie.
Oh no.
A lot of number crunching.
Yeah, man. A lot of maths.
Yeah. The other one was someone else described the podcast to someone else with me in the room, and they were like, "Oh, how is that a podcast?" And I had to kind of pause and be like, "Oh, wait, what?"
Sheer grit and determination, I think, is the answer to that. We're like we're the hardest working podcasters out there, Gareth. That's secret.
True.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
We hear the reports that this is a terrible idea. We often say it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that we don't let that stop us. We don't let that get us down. This is my Independence Day speech, by the way.
Oh, this is beautiful.
From me to you. I'm ready to bring the world together through our synced experience.
Yeah. This is it. This is what's going to cure the world.
Damn right. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Something has to.
What holiday would you want to own the rights to? Just real quick.
I would want to own the rights to New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's sick. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If I could, like, just... I love the whole thing with New Year's Eve dropping a big ball. I wish I could, like, monetize that a lot more. Everyone has, like, a little ball that they drop at their house. I'd be selling those all the time. You know?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's just waste. That's money on the table, New Year's
Yeah.
Eve. What are you doing? You get to sell a new one of those every year.
Yeah. And the money in the glasses?
Yeah, man. Think of the money that I've been making off those, like, terrible sunglasses in the shape of the year that no longer work and haven't worked since, like, the year 2000, I'm pretty sure. Or, like, from, like...
2009.
Like, 2010, arguably, but those are weird-looking sunglasses at that point, right? Like, yeah, as soon as we dropped the old 00, we needed to get out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, they should have stopped making those.
Are you sure you want to get in on this holiday? It sounds like it's solid days are behind it.
I'm ready to make the tough decisions that need to be made, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A giant ball in every home and no more sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn right. That's the plan. Also, I chose New Year's Eve because I feel like it's kind of the most, like, chill of the holidays, and that, like, it's not related to any kind of, like, religious practice. It's just like, it's the end of the year, you know? Like, it's just like, we did it. That year's done.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that as a premise for a holiday. So, yeah.
And especially it seems like the last couple of years it's got a way more relief, like quiet optimism and relief, which you're not getting otherwise.
Yeah. People are less concerned with New Year's resolutions as well, like, more recently. And that, like, I think... I feel like, given control, I would abolish the New Year's resolution and just have instead people just remembering bloody good times over the year.
Yeah.
Like, celebrate the moments that you've had. Look to the past and remember fondly the year instead of being like, I'm going to learn to run a marathon, because you're not. Like, it's not worth that. You know, if you want to make a plan, go for it. But, like, don't associate it with the next year. That's such a time crunch and something, and the world is so uncertain. Like, yeah. Oh my gosh.
We're bringing such a nihilistic hippie energy this episode.
Oh, dude, that's exactly where I'm at after watching Independence Day. I've never felt stronger that I'm a hippy dippy person than after watching this film. Except for that one moment when I bought an acoustic guitar from like a junk shop, and I had to take it home on the bus without a case.
Oh, that's cool.
And also the guitar is the only branding on the guitar is that it says artist. So there you go. That's the only moment that goes higher on the hippy dippy scale for me. So happy to share that.
That would have been great. The only thing better is if someone else had bongos on the same bus.
Oh my god.
My brother.
I'm narrowly avoiding hacky sacks flying towards me. Yeah. A constant danger.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this film now?
Yes. Oh, let's talk about this film.
There's so much to talk about.
I know, it's so long.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it, friendo. We'll get through this year of podcasting together. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Speak to me, baby, over the 20th Century Fox logo and opening titles of this long film. Very good. Looking like
I love that the opening titles just explode.
Yeah, like in like the stock like explode filter that a Windows Media Maker would put together. Also, that Star Trek ass font is looking great. It's very good.
Yeah. And when you don't have Pink Floyd playing, they make the sound of you like emptying your trash on a Mac computer, which I very much enjoy.
Just the like crumpling sound of a font going away. Oh. Very sweet. So, yes, the film starts on July 2nd, which is not Independence Day, in case you're keeping track at home, checking the calendar. It's coming up. At first I thought this was like a black and white shot, but it like transcends into a shot of the moon here. We've got the moon landing site, classic, with the flag planted and the little plaque. I don't know if there is a plaque on the moon. This might be inaccurate, but probably. Did they bring a plaque all the way up to the moon? I hope they did.
That would be bonkers if they just invented that detail.
Yeah, right. It's like a weird thing to bring. Like, who's engraving the moon plaque, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. But yeah, we're getting some like earthquakes. All the bloody footprints on the moon just disappear. All the dust is no longer settled in place, so that's all gone. All that human history. That plaque gets covered over quick smart by a ship coming in overhead towards the Earth. The Earth.
Yeah, this is our 4th movie we've covered that has a ship coming in towards the Earth.
It's true.
At the start. Maybe more. But and each of those films has received a grade higher than 5. So
all right.
I'm excited at this point.
So we'll keep that in mind in our grading if we can remember. God, but yeah, I do like that this movie starts on the moon. Just from a thematic standpoint for us boys, it feels good. It feels
yes, of course.
This is my true home, the moon. I see Earth, and that's where it takes place. We're doing the classic Hollywood thing of zooming out. It's showing you the whole universe and being like, okay, this movie's set on Earth, guys. Get hype. Oh my god.
Yeah, don't be confused. This is Earth.
Yeah. And then we go straight to SETI, which is a real organization, SETI.
Ah.
They're looking at extraterrestrial life. They're trying to determine if there are aliens out there, life in the universe other than us. I think I don't think they're a government-operated organization. They potentially are. But, they're definitely like the joke of... there's a lot of jokes to be made about SETI, right? And that they're the ones they're the dreamers. They're looking for the aliens.
Yeah.
And the idea is that they just sort of sit around all day doing nothing, as we see, because we've got a guy playing golf, just chilling, practicing his
some REM
golf game. Yeah. Good times. We aren't hearing
But then something draws his attention, and he looks around as Pink Floyd sing in their hit song "Breathe." Look around.
Yes. Excellent. He's looking around.
Yeah.
He's
listening. He's hearing Pink Floyd over his monitor.
It's because the aliens are blasting it, right?
Yeah, you know that.
Just in their internal spaceship, they're just constantly playing Dark Side of the Moon. That's the real reason they're here.
Yeah.
They're like, we've got to find Gilmore and the boys and just figure out how this all got started.
And the reason they're furious is that Roger wasn't in the band at that point.
Damn right. There you go.
They're like, nah, we have to destroy the world if it doesn't have the original lineup.
Yeah, they're bloody hipsters, aliens. Yeah. All of them. It's because they're working off information that's so old at that point, right?
Yeah.
And they get incensed and enraged by the things that they hear, and they're like, "Oh my, we got to go to Earth and figure this out." And as they're getting closer, they're hearing more about human history, and they're just like, they're blotting that out. They ain't even thinking about it because they're already angry, right? Like, there you go. They're just behind the times, and if they only paid attention to a bit of modern day, I don't know, information, videos, watch some YouTube. Just figure things out. They'll feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Aliens. Hopefully they find this podcast that'll explain it to them.
Yes,
Because this is being beamed out via the satellites, and the aliens will hear it one day.
That's what I do. That's how I publish it, is I just beam it to a satellite. And
okay.
then one of those satellites hits your podcast application.
Oh, good.
Yeah. If you're listening to this on a podcast application, that's not what we planned. This is just for aliens.
No. We plan for aliens to be our only audience.
Yeah.
It's amazing that any people listen. But they're getting a signal. There's something that they're picking up, Old City, and there's something that's only the distance of the moon away. So that's worrying. They're like, what?
Yeah.
This is bigger. This is almost as big as the moon. They say it's like a third the size of the moon, the thing they're picking up. which I feel like they should be more worried about this and or have seen this coming earlier, like before.
Yeah.
Like that's really big for something entering our atmosphere, and there's not a lot in space that would block that kind of thing from coming in, from us spotting that from like miles away, from many, many multitudes of miles away, right?
Yeah, unless SETI just aren't that good.
Yeah, it's just that one guy focusing on his golf game the whole time
Yeah.
instead of like looking through a goddamn telescope, right? What?
Yeah, twist is though, he's amazing at golf.
All right, I like
Yeah.
that take. He's actually really good at golf, and that's why. Yeah, it's much better. The real take of Independence Day is just this guy practicing for years and years and getting really good at golf and getting made fun of for his job at SETI. Oh.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing there? You're so good at golf.
He makes a speech about Independence Day from his job and eventually gets fired and goes to become a pro golfer.
Yeah.
Shortly before the events of this movie start. Well,
Oh, so what, in between July 2nd and July 3rd?
yeah, he leaves his job and that's where the movie ends.
Yeah.
It pans up to see a big spaceship and that's the like twist ending.
I'd love that.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh gosh. This scene ends as Breathe ends, and it ends on
Yeah.
a slow zoom into some technology. So we start to hear some technology.
Yeah, we go
namely
like
the Pink Floyd synthesizers.
we zoom straight into a speaker and like it's like the speaker's playing us on the run, and I'm feeling good about that. And yeah, the American government is chilling. They're talking about how big this object is, and we see the president. He's a young dude here.
Yeah.
He's waking up and watching the news with his daughter in the bed. It's very sweet.
Yeah. His daughter just puts on a news show that is insulting him, which I thought was a scucks move.
Yeah, damn. You keeping up with the press, Prez?
Yeah.
President father? They
Hey
don't
Dad,
like
I
you
found the
very
one
much.
channel where they hate you.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, they even as like presidential assistant. What is her role actually? Let me check real quick. She is the
White House Communications Director.
okay. Yes, communications director. That makes sense. That should be considered
Yeah,
about this.
there are a lot of characters in this film, by the way.
Oh hell yeah, we're gonna fuck this
Yeah.
up absolutely. But yeah, Margaret Collin as Constance Spano.
Yeah.
Spano. As White House communications director, she's very concerned with the image of the president because they see him as a little weakman.
Yeah, a
who's
little
too
boy.
young for the gig. And looking at the like past average ages of presidents in America, that makes sense because this guy is like
Yeah.
definitely below like 50, and I don't think they've had a president that young ever. You know?
Unless it was like really in the early days.
Yeah, right. They're all old ass men at this point, so that's apparently what America wants.
They just want him to get older.
Yeah, but yeah, they're sassing him for that, and so yeah. But he finally gets a bloody call from the Secretary of Defense as the crash sound and On the Run plays for us.
Yeah.
And we get to see. He's like, you need to see what's happening right now. I need to call an emergency meeting. We see a satellite beaming our podcast into space, roaming away, and then just crashing into something huge in space. So just rip to our broadcast, really. But
Yeah, that's going to be tough for us.
yeah, I do kind of like this theme for the movie, and that like all the satellites are getting wrecked, and that's how the aliens are communicating with each other to coordinate this attack is through Earth's own satellite system. We'll find out later.
Yeah.
It's also like a fun motif that all the like TVs are all flickery and terrible because of this alien invasion. I think that's a really nice touch throughout the production of this movie. Yeah, because it's really hard to get a good signal if all the bloody satellites are getting knocked out of the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. We cut to Jeff Goldblum in New York City, baby, playing against a game of chess against his dad, played by Judd Hirsch, hanging out. He's looking great. Goldblum's looking young as well, like young enough to be the president in this fictional
Oh
world.
my gosh.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. This was so this movie was for a while the second highest grossing film of all time,
Oh
behind
wow,
the other great Jeff Goldblum 90s film of Jurassic Park.
man, that yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
You can tell like he's hitting these homers, mate. Like Jeff Goldblum, you
Yeah.
get him in the flick, it's gonna go knocked out of the park. Look at this boy. Look at him. How can you not love him? How can your
Yeah.
movie not make money?
Right? This is
Great.
interesting. Like, this made me realize we've been lucky enough to live through two Jeff Goldblums.
Oh wow.
Like, right now we're in the Life Aquatic, Portlandia kind of, I don't know, this fancy man who kind of just
Yeah.
lounges around and speaks in long, flowing sentences.
Yeah, the
Whereas
mega
back-
eccentric version
Yeah.
of Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Whereas, like, these days in Jurassic Park, you had this, like, kind of stockier, long-haired, neurotic,
Yeah.
but, like, cool Jeff Goldblum. And I don't know when the switch must have happened.
I don't know. He just like found
But-
his groove, I think, at some point. People like,
Yeah.
or maybe like
started playing jazz.
Hollywood was portraying him as this neurotic type, and like he super isn't in real life. He's so self-assured and like
Oh,
knows
yeah.
exactly what he's doing. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be that. But anyway,
I like that. Yeah.
here he is. He's playing. He's doing the Queen's Gambit and hanging out with his dad, and it's a good time. He's wearing his wedding ring still after 3 years of being divorced because he can't let go. It's very sweet. Well, not really.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but you know, that's what he's doing. He works at the TV station. And they're going out. He's like bikes into the TV station place where he works, and everyone's freaking out. They can't transmit anything because the satellites are all going down. And yeah, he's like, okay, I don't really know what's happening. He's trying to figure out something with his little computer. But we cut again to time now. Our lovely boys are playing some time, and we go to Imperial Valley, California, as there are like guys, just these kids hanging out in like a camper van park, and I'm like, I completely forgot this ever happened in this movie. But
Yeah, same.
these
I
guys,
genuinely thought this was just in Mars Attacks.
yeah, right. It's wild how much crossover there is actually. Like, and that these
Yeah,
were
for
being,
films that were produced in silos.
yeah, right. They were made at the same time and like doing their
Yeah.
own thing. Man, yeah, it's wild the amount of crossover there is. But yeah, these guys are all hanging out and they're like friends with, or their dad is Russell. I don't really know the relationship here, but they're sure here. And this guy Russell is drunkenly crop dusting the wrong field, as played by Randy Quaid here.
Yeah.
I believe. Who, by the way, Randy Quaid, full name, Randy Randall Rudy Quaid. Which
Ooh.
is such a strong name. I wish he'd gone with the like triple threat Randy Randall Rudy, because I just think that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
god.
not even with the last name, just the three.
It's such, yeah, just that triple. Get rid of the Quaid entirely
Yeah.
and be the triple R, Randy Randall Rudy. It's very strong. But yeah, here he is. He's like a drunken pilot. It's very, very upsetting. His character has such a weird arc through this movie.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so bizarre. I don't know like who he represents in the grand scheme of like what this movie's trying to be, what it's trying to tell you. But he's like an ex-Vietnam vet, right?
Yeah.
Who like became disillusioned after the war and then has become a drunk and was a trained pilot, but is now doing crop dusting out in the middle of like God knows where, California. It's so strange the arc that this man goes on.
Yeah.
But
And he was abducted by aliens.
Yeah, he insists he was abducted by aliens. It's not like clear whether or
Yeah.
not he was, but he's certain that he was. But fair enough.
Yeah.
He's had
I
quite
wouldn't
the
be
life.
surprised if. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd snuck, like, into the set of Mars Attacks and stolen, like, pages of the script and were just like, we're going to use this.
Maybe,
And
yeah.
they can't have it.
That would make sense for me. Yes,
Yeah.
but so we get introduced briefly to this guy being a drunk, and we're like, okay, I don't know how all these characters are connected. We're putting all these people in place. I know the president's going to be involved, but we've got we've got we've got this guy involved in the script. So okay. But yeah, we cut back to space, and the big ship is sending out all these little discs, these little spinny disc. What would you call them? UFOs coming in. These are like they look small in the shot, but these are the main giant discs that are like the size of cities that roll in. Right, they're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're coming in. And the president and his advisors are just sort of like discussing what they're supposed to do. They know that an alien invasion is in progress, but there's been no like speaking to anyone about it. They're just like keeping it hush hush. I feel like you'd be able to know if they're this close.
Yeah.
Like, surely you'd be able to see these things in the sky. I don't know.
The
Like,
TVs are all weird. They've got to keep looking at them.
That's true. Yeah, we don't get anyone
Yeah.
else's perspective, so there's no one actually like looking up ever. It's just people in their day to day. If it's not on TV, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, old mate, the Secretary of Defense wants to go to DEFCON 3, and yeah, these ships are like splitting off and entering the atmosphere. They know about that, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, what can we do? It's kind of interesting to think about, like, that the American people here don't have a plan at all for this kind of thing. It's sort of an unprecedented event, obviously, and so they don't have a plan in place for what alien invasion, what to do when that happens. It's just, I don't know, they seem very ill-equipped to deal with this. I feel like in real life, if an alien invasion happened, they'd be like nuked from orbit. They'd be like attacked before they even got to the moon somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's very interesting. This movie does go out of their way to show that humans tried their best to be like nice and peaceful.
Yeah.
Well, in a way that like it didn't, I don't know, it didn't need to do it. Like we all would have still hooted and hollered and gone to the cinema in the 90s to be like, yeah,
America, independence.
It's like, in that way in a couple ways, it's way smarter than it needs to be, which, good on it.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe I'm a cynic, but I feel like in real life they wouldn't do this thing that they end up doing. But anyway, we cut to Iraq at the time signature change in time when we get to the like slowed down bit. We go. It's showing Iraq on screen. I'm like, whoa, okay. This is a movie.
You're a bit worried it's going to make a dicey statement.
Yeah, I super was. Yeah. Well, this is 1996 that this came out, right? So it's before any of this stuff happened. So, oh my god. But yeah, we see also later on the two towers standing in New York City, which is like, whoa, okay. But yeah, there's ominous glowing clouds above Iraq and various other countries as well. We see these huge clouds rolling in. It's kind of weird that they don't actually show the ships entering. I guess this is like what they do when they enter the atmosphere. This huge like billowing cloud of explosion around them.
Yeah, I thought the clouds looked awesome.
They do. They look great.
Yeah.
They look way better than the ships do, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, there's like, we cut to like a military submarine for a little bit where there's like, they're just getting, I think this is just to like do a gag really, because they look at a reading and the sonar or whatever it is that they have read out, and it's just this huge red disc covering the entire screen, which is hilarious. But Yeah. Yeah. People are like watching on TV the glowy clouds rolling in, even though they can see like over Russia, they bring in like a little a CRT TV in the Oval Office to like watch like worldwide news reports of
Yeah.
this, which I found very enjoyable. This little TV. But yeah, we get into some great gig now. This is a very loose episode. I'm like I'm vibing out, man. I'm disappearing into the ether. I'm watching spaceships roll in above as I'm recording,
Yeah.
and
You're becoming those clouds.
yeah, man, I'm breaching Earth's atmosphere live on mic.
It is worth noting, many of these scenes so far have ended at the same time as the Pink Floyd song that's been playing has ended.
Yeah, shockingly close. I've not been keeping
Yeah.
stringent notes about it, but yeah, like a lot of the things are lining up quite well. A lot of cutaways working out. A lot of spicy cut syncs there. That's nice.
Yeah, the only time it doesn't do it in time with something cool is when it cuts to the aliens, because the aliens are ruining things.
Yeah, they are sick of
Yeah.
it. They're so angry about us playing the new Floyd that they're here to stop us. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
no, go back to the old days. The old albums were better. All right, Dark Side of the Moon's overrated.
Yeah,
So
we only
harsh.
prefer the
So
ones
harsh.
with Old Maid. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's go back to it, or we'll kill everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sid
so
Barrett is Old Mate, by the way. Sorry, I've completely forgot his name on my Pink Floyd podcast.
he's our old mate. He shall henceforth only be referred to as old mate.
Deal.
Okay. Yeah. So also we see the one coming in over California, but the big cloudy ship. Obviously, we don't see any of the ships at this point, which is upsetting. We see like a plane flying towards it that gets like engulfed in this explosion. Oh yeah, they send like a probe plane effectively, right? To like go check out
Yeah.
what's within these clouds. And it just gets there and it's like, nope, it's a big fiery explosion and just explodes. I don't know what they were expecting, but that sure happens. Yeah, we got the president. He like refuses to leave the Oval Office. He just wants to stay there, and he doesn't want to make any statement either. He doesn't want to cause panic in the people, even though there are
Yeah.
these huge shapes appearing in the sky. He's still being like, no, 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 we won't do anything. And his like key general guy is like, I'll stay by your side, sir. I'll stay here in the office with you. First instinct here that this general guy, he's like head of the armed forces, right? This guy?
Yeah. The guy who
know-
looks like every single general.
Yeah. General William Gray is head of the United States Marine Corps. There you go. But yeah, and his Secretary of Defense is like stressing out and running around like a mad thing. I don't know what kind of statement they're trying to make with this juxtaposition between these two guys. There's like two key advisors that are at loggerheads throughout the whole film, but
Yeah.
I don't understand what it means, because I feel like in the end it comes out that it's like the army should be taking control of the situation, you know? I feel like that's the lesson, and it's like, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
very
it's
like,
very like... We both stopped in our very likes. It's
Yeah.
very like the world should all come together and come together as one world, but it should be via war and war alone.
yeah, the defense of our nation through the show of arms is sort of the feeling that
Yeah.
is conveyed by this movie, and it's like, is that right? I get that aliens are attacking and taking them out with a big show of force is grand. It's grand. It's all good. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like like
Maybe
they're
this film
shitty-
isn't trying to say anything.
Maybe. Also possible that it's just like, look at these cool special effects. Look how cool special effects have gotten.
Yeah.
Remember Jurassic Park? That was actually better special effects, but you know, it also had Jeff Goldblum. So just come along to this one too. I think that's all it's trying to say. But yeah, it's still fun. Yeah. Meanwhile,
my
while this
new
is happening,
theory. Oh, sorry.
no, go. What's the theory?
Okay, my new theory, real quick, because we do have to get back to our sweet, sweet sinks.
Oh, please.
My new theory is this whole film a prequel to Futurama.
Ooh, I like that. Elaborate.
But, like, you'll have to change the dates. You'll have to change the dates so Fry's already frozen. But,
Okay.
like, you know how in Futurama, Earth is pretty much America? Like, it's just the American flag, but they've got a little globe on it, and, like, you're the president of Earth and all
Yes.
that. This is how that happened, is that everyone came together under America for that, like, to fight aliens. And then probably more aliens came up, so they're just like, yeah, we're just America now, don't worry about it.
Yeah, there we go. The United
And
States of the world.
Yeah, and you know who benefited the most from that?
Who?
A certain man who claims to be Mr. Worldwide, but then only names certain American states.
Oh,
President
no.
Pitbull. Independence Day 2.
Oh no. President Pitbull.
Yeah.
Oh wow. The sad thing is that I could see it happening.
Yeah, he would look real good in his president suits.
He would. That's true. He's got this. He probably owns enough presidential suits already, being Mr. Worldwide. Like, I feel like he's got the wardrobe on lock. My favorite ever Pitbull moment was when they sent him to Alaska. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I think we might have even talked about it on the show, but go on.
Oh, it's so good. There was a competition to where he'd play in I don't know what business it was, but like a chain business across the entire United States. And there was a competition to be like, oh, I'll come and play a concert here at this business. And you can send me to anyone in the world. And everyone came together and we're like, we're sending Pitbull to Alaska. We get him as far away from us as possible. And he did it. Fucking credit to Pitbull being like, yeah, I'll go. That sounds great.
Yeah.
He seems like a good sport, honestly, Pitbull. I feel like we get on probably okay.
Yeah.
He's got an intense catalogue of music, but I feel like we'd have a good chat. He seems just like a good lad, you know?
Yeah. Do you think he likes Pink Floyd?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like he's at least listened to this album. He almost definitely has the same amount of knowledge about Pink Floyd that we do. So that I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, so cutting back to the movie, we got David, our Goldblum boy, is here, and he's in the TV studio. What he's been up to on his wee little laptop computer, he's got the signal. He's reading a bit of binary that's just been printed off from his work. And everyone else is watching the White House report, which is coming through about the alien invasion, and they're all freaking out about it. And he's like, guys, have you seen this binary that I printed out? I've got some information about what's been happening. And everyone's like, look at the TV right now, man. There's a presidential address happening. Show some goddamn respect. And yeah, we get a direct cut to people in the streets freaking out. Everyone's like prepping for the worst. Everyone in the news agency around Jeff Goldblum is like heading down to the basement to hide because there's apparently like a bomb shelter down there. It's very weird, but okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Back in California, Russell is like at a diner, getting roasted for being a drunk and for his part about being abducted by aliens. They're all saying like, "You bloody idiot! You never got abducted by aliens." And then they look outside and there's this huge explosion in the sky. Oh, it's great. As we get into money. So it goes to show, I would love to be a conspiracy theorist at the time of an alien invasion. Like that is the highest high imaginable, right? The amount of I told you so that you get out of that is just premium.
Yeah. You know how people like convert to Christ just before they pass away? Are you going to convert to being like a conspiracy theorist right when something proves them right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Oh,
I've always had this tinfoil hat, he says, unfolding his lunch.
what are these sandwiches strewn around you, man? I don't know about them. What I do know about is aliens. Okay. But yeah, so they're roasting him, but he's about to get his own back because aliens are real and they're here. We finally there's one coming in over the Hollywood Hills as well, is where we are next, and we see finally it's like really late in the film, but we see Will Smith.
19-minute wait for Will Smith.
I was really surprised. I thought the movie opened with him and he was our main guy throughout this movie.
Yeah, right?
But no, it's maybe that's just my headcanon cut of the movie coming into play. But no, we don't see him for 20 minutes. We're halfway through a Pink Floyd album before we see him.
Yeah.
Wild.
We're nowhere near halfway through this podcast by the time we see him.
Oh, hell no.
Oh.
There's so much more. You know that, listeners. So he's here in bed with his girlfriend at the time, played by Vivica A. Fox. They're hanging out. And they're like, oh, it's just another bloody Californian earthquake. You know? These happen all the time. I do really like that there's dialogue that Will Smith's like, oh, it's not even a 4. Which is just, as someone who's lived through the Christchurch earthquakes in New Zealand, you definitely become resigned to constant aftershocks and you just don't even pay attention to the small ones where everyone else around you's like, whoa, that was a big earthquake. And you're like, nah, that was nothing.
Yeah. And that guessing of the number, oh, what do you reckon that was? Oh, well, wait.
It's
we'll
a 4.
It's GeoNet's website, right? And you go back to that and you're like, nah. Oh, yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah. It was right under the city, but it was only a 3.5. So, you know. Yeah. We got pretty good at guessing how big the earthquake was on the Richter scale. Is just
heck yeah.
Just as a casual bet among friends, being like, oh, what do you think that was? 4.5? Yeah, So it was just good to have some serious earthquake representation. In the movie, I was like, oh, cool, I can relate to this. But yeah, we cut to the bloody Capitol building and the White House, and we see the ship rolling in, the shadows covering those, and the Statue of Liberty, etc., the Twin Towers. It's all the landmarks that you know and love of America, mainly. And everyone's getting out of their cars to see this crazy thing rolling in. We see David, Jeff Goldblum. I've switched from character names. I've switched from actor names to character names suddenly in my notes, and I don't know why I have, but I'm going to continue on, probably with character names.
Okay.
So, David, Jeff Goldblum, here he is. He's running to the roof, and we finally see the ship emerging from this big explosion as the guitars kick in the money solo, Gareth. That is a money move by these aliens. Here they are. And everyone starts
this is the money shot.
For sure. These ships are merging all together. It's lovely. But it's panics in the streets as everyone's sort of just running around as we just get an extended shot of Jeff Goldblum staring in amazement, which is very good. I could watch him do that for a long time. He just sort of stands there watching for a long time. It's great. And everyone is just watching dumbfounded in the president's office in the same way. Will Smith gets up and finally goes to see what's going on. Emerges from his little house trying to get the paper, and he finally looks out. There's a lot of jokes about the neighbors are moving after that little earthquake. What wusses. They finally got sick of them, dear. Oh no. But we get a great zoom in on his face when he sees them as well as we go into us and them. So that's nice. Yeah.
Yes. That is this whole us and them is pretty perfect.
So theory.
Yeah,
for me,
I wrote down quick descriptions to them all, but we'll get through them.
Yeah.
I've titled every scene.
Oh, really? Okay. I like that. Us and them.
This is a soldier's shock. Part 1.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
This if you were doing the like stage play of Independence Day, which I'm sure exists already, the Broadway musical version. This is the part in the in the program that's been given out to you there. There's the music cue that kicks in, and it's just Will Smith doing a little solo of his own. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, gotta love him. What did you think of Will Smith in this, by the way?
Great. So he was not he was the director's first choice. He wasn't the studio's first choice.
Right.
They, because he was mostly known for comedies at this point, but he's
Yeah.
the most Will Smith. You're getting so much Will Smith for this. Like,
Absolutely.
we're not getting a lot of Will Smith these days, but we
Yeah.
got a lot of him then.
Damn right. Yeah.
Often he doesn't do one-liners. He does 2 one-liners in a row.
Yeah. That's good.
Which I love.
Good value for money
Yeah.
with the comedy from Will Smith in this film for sure. He's playing it up in a great way. Him versus the aliens later is very enjoyable. Yeah, a big fan of him in this film for sure. I think he's the highlight of the whole film for me. I think him and Jeff Goldblum together as a duo, bloody genius. Give me more of that dynamic in any film, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, there's some great scenes later where I was just like, these bros should start a podcast.
Fucking A, right? Oh my god, get them on the
Yeah,
mic.
these 2 fictional characters.
They're just smoking cigars and having a chat. Yeah, there you go.
I don't want it to be anything about their alien exploits. I want it to be exclusively, I don't know, reviewing Pitbull's albums.
There we go. Perfect. Mr. Worldwide. Yeah. Podcast Worldwide.
That's good. Podball.
Podbull. Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh gosh. I can't get over Podbull. That's the worst thing. Oh man. Okay. But yeah, so here he is. Everyone's seen these alien ships. They're here now. David's elaborates finally on what his binary is that he printed out, and it's the signal that the aliens have sent out, and it's a countdown that they have synced up around the world. So they're doing a sync up of their own, Gareth. They've got a little binary plan that David's tapped into via the satellites that we send our podcast through. They're recording a podcast of their own.
Yeah. Also about their space pitbull.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, they're planning. There's 6 hours, and there's going to be a coordinated strike by these alien ships to destroy Earth, basically. So, or like at least eradicate a lot of the hot spots around the globe where many people live. It's pretty bleak.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
But yeah, so David takes upon it himself to like go and sort this situation out because he's the only one that has this little binary printout, and it's also 1996 or whatever, so he can't just like text someone. He can't be like I believe he does call his ex-wife, who is, we find out now, is the president's aide here, that we saw earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Margaret
a cool
Collins'
connection.
character. Yeah, I like that. I like those little connections. Any big film like this needs those kind of things.
Yeah, he calls in to like warn her about what's happening, and she's like, I can't take your advice right now, man. We've got a lot of like actual scientists and stuff trying to figure out what's happening, and I can't listen to my ex-husband right now. And fair play. But yeah, everyone's like panicking and running around the streets, and we cut back to Will Smith, who's like rolling out because he's a Marine himself. Who is, I believe, on like shore leave effectively, right? Like he's chilling. He's supposed to be on holiday, and his girlfriend's like, "Oh, you really going in?" And he's like, "Yes, the world is being attacked by aliens. Of course I am going in. This is what I'm here for." Or at least, like, you would think that it would be what he's here for.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. But yeah, they have a like fairly sweet interaction where like they aren't sure whether he'll be coming back or not. It's very sad. And then yeah, they say goodbye to each other. I do love that we go back to David and his quest, and he has just rolled up to his dad's, who he was playing chess with earlier, and is like, "I need your car because I don't drive. I need you to drive me to Washington D.C. And we will contact the president." Which is a hilarious plan, but they do that. And we get like a really fun like dad and son car trip where the dad talks about like driving responsibly and within the speed limit while people are like zooming around him.
Yeah.
It's very enjoyable. I love the dad character here. He's a great
Yeah,
guy.
same.
It's a strong dad knows right energy from this guy. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good performance. Weird little interstitial here where like Russell is on TV for getting arrested by doing like a letter bomb. He's like dropping all these like leaflets over the place being like, aliens are here to kill everyone, because he believes in aliens, and he gets arrested but also like immediately let go. I don't know what this is in the movie for, besides the fact that like he's still here. Like it's just such a
we haven't shown
weird
him for
little
a while.
thing. Yeah, this is like, what's he up to? Oh, he's doing this. Okay, he was arrested but then
Yeah.
let go within like 2 hours. Very weird.
Also, they let him say his entire theory on air, which is, as we know now, a terrible thing to do with someone who's got a like conspiracy theory.
Absolutely, yeah. He gets his whole like manifesto out there for everyone to hear about. So the whole leaflet dropping thing is completely pointless. All you have to do is commit a crime and they'll put you on the news. Oh my god. Anyway.
Yeah. This ends Us and Them, and I'd like to give you my quick movements of Us and Them to this to this film. This perfect thematic
Please
scene.
do.
Us and Them, Chapter 1, A Soldier's Shock. Us and Them, Chapter 2, The Believer's Countdown. Chapter 3, President Chat. I ran out. Part 4, Chapter 4, Rioting / Looting.
True.
Part 5, A Soldier Feels Love. Part 6, Someone Drives the Other Way from the Masses.
Yes.
And Us and Them, Part 7, Chapter 7, A Local Eccentric is right.
That's great. That's like a short film within the film.
It's like when people tell you there's only like 2 plot lines. That's the other 7.
Yeah, there we go. We've covered the whole basis. If you wanted to encapsulate the entire 2.5 hour movie, just watch this one segment and you'll pick up kind of what this movie's about. Like, just because we get all the characters in there.
Yeah. You could totally just watch the Us and Them scenes.
Yeah.
He says, frantically looking through his notes.
I'm pretty sure that's right. Us and Them, for me, was like the whole... Every time Us and Them was playing on screen, I was like, this is the... Not only is it the aliens versus the humans dynamic, but it fairly encapsulates the point of the movie. So if we cut together the Us and Them moments, I feel like there'd be the perfect cut of this movie, where we're just seeing people panicked and then like various other scenes that we'll get to. So yeah, we'll see if that theory holds coming up, but I hope it does.
Yeah, and then it's down to just an 18-minute film.
Yeah, so we arrive at the airbase, the Marines airbase, and Captain Steve, aka Will Smith, is here, and he's been delivered another weird little plot line is introduced, that he always wanted to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
He's got like a rejection letter from NASA just like stuck into his locker. It's so weird, these little things. It's just like the whole point of this is so that later he can be like, I always wanted to go to space. And it's like, what? Is that a plot point? Is that something that should have been in this movie? I don't know. It's not even like a pathos kind of thing. It's just like he thinks space is pretty cool. That doesn't make you an astronaut. Right? Like, I don't know. It's very strange. We also find out here that he's planning to propose to his girlfriend. She's not his wife. They live together and she has a child. We find out this out later as well. But the child isn't his, it's hers. Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's just still his family, and he wants to like lock that up with
Yeah.
a sweet marriage proposal, and good on him.
Also, it's a ring with a dolphin on it, and apparently
Yes.
dolphin jewelry sales increased after this film.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, that's how big this film got.
That's embarrassing for the human race. I feel like we deserve to be invaded by aliens now. Like, if we're that susceptible to media, like, fuck, guys. Dolphins aren't that good.
Well, it was also 1996, and the 90s were the decade of dolphins. Like, dolphins
Wow.
were on everything.
Yeah? Give me some more examples
Yeah.
of dolphins being involved in the media.
Oh, called out here on Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
caught in a bluff.
You think you know the 90s? Name every dolphin, Garrett.
Welcome back to You Think You Know the 90s. Well, James is actually your host. I'm just introducing it.
Yeah, Gareth is here against his will, and it is under duress by me, the host of this show within the show. So you think you know the 90s?
Weren't dolphin tattoos big?
Yeah, sure. I'm a very accommodating
When
host.
Echo the Dolphin.
Yep.
Yes,
the
Echo the
Dolphin.
Dolphin, published by Sega in 1992.
There you go. That's perfect. Absolutely correct. Also, that game is wild and features aliens. So that's the perfect tie-in.
What?
If you've never played Echo the
I only
Dolphin,
remember
it's fucking insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
wow.
It starts with your pod of dolphins being abducted by aliens, and no, I'm not joking.
No.
Yes, it's very dark, and you've
Wow.
got to communicate with other various sea animals, sea mammals, and
Cool.
other fish, and solve puzzles with your dolphin strength and skills in order to fight aliens. I believe there's like a really nightmarish boss fight at the end. That game's really dark, by the way. It's like messed up. So check out Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah. What is, just really quickly, because this has just reminded me of the Dreamcast, which was...
Yeah,
I thought that was the coolest
the
video game
platform
console
of
in the
Echo the
world.
Dolphin.
Yeah. It was only seemed to be available at the New Brighton Library at in Christchurch. Was the only copy of the Dreamcast in New Zealand, if you ask me.
That's pretty, yeah, that seems accurate to me. We were in New Zealand not getting Dreamcasts at that stage. I feel like a friend of mine had one at some
Okay.
point, though. And he would like only ever play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think, on it.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah. Well, no. They weren't 3D at that stage, were they, on the Dreamcast? I don't know.
I don't know either. What's the most Pink Floyd game console though?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, that's tough. It's that thing that Nintendo made that is only like transmitted red light, and it was awful to play.
I don't know this at all.
What is that called? I'm gonna have to look it up. But what do you think it is in the meantime? I'm gonna find out what this red light emitting Nintendo was.
I want to say Dreamcast, but I will actually give it up to just someone with a really modded PC. Like if someone's built their own PC for games, that's Pink Floyd.
Yeah, that's their own their own custom gaming rig is the Pink Floyd. I feel like that's the modern Pink Floyd for sure.
Yeah, that's after Roger left for sure. Maybe. I just don't think I know enough game consoles. I like this red light guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out what it was. They had. It's really this is Nintendo. If you don't know, they made a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So, their earliest product's called the Color TV game, but I don't think it's that. I'll look it up later, and we'll send out a press release for this ancient technology.
Yeah. What was the first ever VR thing? I reckon that must have been.
Oh no, okay. So yes, no. Here we go. It was this. The thing that I'm referring to is called the Virtual Boy, and
Ooh.
it's a portable gaming console, and not only that, it's a head-mounted display, Gareth. It's like a
Yeah, there you go.
It is a VR thing. But yeah, it's this nightmarish like red thing. Look at this fucking thing.
Oh, yuck.
The controller is so stressful. Yeah, like so there's a shot of Mario Tennis that I'm going to link to you now. And it was operating off the like stereoscopic 3D of the 90s. And like that's some graphics there.
Wow.
I feel like that would hurt to play for like even like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's well, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. I'm so lost down the
Welcome to
rabbit
this
hole.
episode.
Yeah, that's the Pink Floyd of video game consoles.
Yeah. Deal.
Just
and that's been your episode of You Think You Know the 90s.
Turns out we don't. Is the real truth.
No.
Oh my god.
Welcome back to Pink Floyd.
Thank God. Okay, we're finally out of us and them and back into brain damage. The the second to last track on the first playthrough of this album, and we see
no.
David on his little laptop computer. He's got his own little rig set up. It's got this weird little like disk drive sticking out the side and like a cup holder or some shit. This is the weirdest computer I've ever seen in my life. It's like
it's
weird,
very much 90s computer.
it's weirder
90s fake
looking
computer.
than the Virtual Boy to me. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's running like a copy of Windows 95 on there that is just so fresh and so clean looking. But his little disc that he puts in, I'm like, oh my god. He even like they've rolled up on the White House at this point, and he plants this like little like weird dish thing on top of his car, and he's like, oh yeah, this can triangulate the position of my wife within my ex-wife within the White House, is what he says. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing here. What? This shouldn't be technology that David could have.
The wife triangulator.
Yeah, it's not good, bro. You maybe want to think about this. This is like the hubris of man technology thing going on at the end of like the first of Batman Begins, where bloody where Fox is looking at all the TV screens and he like types in his own name and everything blows up. I want that to happen to David's computer.
Yeah.
There's
of course the deleted scene from The Dark Knight where he quickly types in his ex-wife's name and goes, oh yes, the White House.
That's what she's up to. She's in the White House again, working.
Well, time to... It's just a mistake. He was typing in Fox because he was trying to find out where all the local foxes were, and then it just blew up the computer.
Oh no.
Oh.
Curse my interesting Google search history. I just like foxes, okay? They match my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my strong branding instincts. I just wanted to find a fun little logo for this computer system with a bit of clip art. But no, Batman decided to make that code to blow up the system that he created and spent millions of dollars on. Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah.
When are we doing Batman Begins on the show? Holy shit, another long movie. Probably never, given the results of this episode. Oh my god. But yeah, it's messed up that they do this. But they managed to like break into the White House because of this. It's the Constance like lets them in. She finds him like triangulating him or whatever, and he's like, I've got this binary plan that I need to talk to the president about. And meanwhile, the president's plan is to have a helicopter with a big long line of lights and a couple of megaphones stuck to the front of it to go up and talk to the aliens. That's his plan. What? I love it. I think it's hilarious that he's got this like retrofitted helicopter to talk to them. It's very very nice. Did he like have a direct vocal link so that he could talk to them directly, do you think?
Surely. Yeah.
I hope so. Just have a wee chat with some aliens. We don't even know how they communicate, so at this point, it's a pretty bold move by the Prez here. But anyway, David is here to poo-poo that idea. He turns his little laptop screen around and shows this countdown on screen, being like, nah, everyone's gonna die.
These aliens ain't chill.
They are not chill. And we will soon, even if David hadn't done this, we would find that out pretty immediately. As the helicopter rolls up to the like front of this big ship and a little gateway opens up emitting this glowy green light. It's very good.
Yeah.
But suddenly some alien inside just shoots his little laser gun and blows up this helicopter immediately. So I feel like that's a pretty clear declaration of what the aliens are up to anyway at this point. But anyway, David figured it out before anyone else did by a matter of about 10 minutes, I think, according to the president.
Yeah.
So good on him. Bloody genius. He can read and print binary from his little screen. Love him.
The helicopter does fly up to the big spaceship and meet it when Pink Floyd sing Everyone You Meet.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling...
And that wraps up play one as well, and it's the first sign that these space bros ain't nice.
Yeah.
So it's really like a thematic closing of a story loop.
Yeah, the burning helicopter over the heartbeats is like the sinking feeling as the first play of Dark Side of the Moon has not worked. It has not quelled the attack from these aliens. They are still enraged, so yeah, it's not looking good. Yeah, we start playthrough 2 as the White House is like being evacuated. Everyone's getting out. We also see the First Lady is also being evacuated from where she is. She's on like the opposite side of the country, I believe. Over on the West Coast.
Yeah, she's in LA somewhere.
Yeah, and she's being ushered into a helicopter to safety. And there are people partying up on the rooftops, like being like, "Welcome, aliens." It's very like strong Y2K energy from these parties, like a very 90s feeling party for sure, where everyone's like dressed in like weird hats. I feel like this is where they'd be breaking out the like 1996 equivalent of the 2000s glasses if they had access to them, you know?
Yeah. Or glasses that say aliens are cool and your eyes go through the two O's and cool.
That works, yeah. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
You're hired, Gareth. In my New Year's Eve
Yes.
company.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. That feels like 1 billion years ago we talked about you owning New Year's Eve.
Nah, that was like the top of the show, man. It's fine. We're just trapped in an eternity within this podcast. It's a never-ending one. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep recording for 24 hours.
Yeah.
and then release whatever comes out. So, yeah. Hope you got material for that, because that's what I signed on for. Yeah, we got...
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Breathe is playing over everyone being ushered to safety, and it's very enjoyable. You know my stance on Breathe with any kind of airplanes or flying. It's just that works for me. Even in a disaster scenario,
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, it works. We've got, but unfortunately, we've got other flying entities here as Breathe is playing, and they are not as friendly. They are not as attuned to the groove as I am. And so they open up their little ports, and at the bottom of the ship, above these big monuments, and everyone's transfixed by the light that is emitted underneath these spaceships. There's like big blue glowy lights. Very good. Honestly, these effects are good. The ships themselves look a bit shoddy and a bit blurry and not that great. But I feel like they got this part of the movie right. The big laser firing sequence, you know, is done pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We get some little bit of information on the presidential plane as Jeff Goldblum's still looking at his little timer, and it reaches 0 over the keyboard trill. I don't know if he says checkmate here, but he probably does. He says checkmate a whole bunch of times, calling back to that one chess game he played against his dad. But sure. I don't know why that became like the saying in this movie, but it definitely did. And yeah, the ships across the world simultaneously fire their lasers blasts at these big monuments around the world. Presumably, we only really see American monuments being destroyed, but I assume many others were. I don't think they showed them in the movie to stop, like, because you probably couldn't get away with that. I don't know, just destroying
Well,
worldwide
it's
monuments.
interesting because 2 years later, Armageddon comes out and has this scene where they blow up the Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
And it's like such a weirdly fetishized shot of it happening, and it feels really like gross and weird that it's just like, yeah, look at it go.
Wow.
So yeah, this is definitely the more tasteful version of Armageddon. And yeah, like you feel bad that this is happening.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm glad
Yeah.
that the Independence Day had like some restraint in terms of their destruction of historical monuments. So yeah, but yeah, that lesson was clearly unlearned a few years later. Oh well. Did Fox make Armageddon as well? Do you know?
Oh, I'm gonna quickly type, but I can't spell Armageddon. I also can't spell Independence, so this may take a while.
I always end up writing Independence, like a dance for independence.
That's the Armageddon Expo. This is still the Armageddon Expo.
Oh no.
Touchstone. It doesn't really say if it was Fox or not.
Well, there you go. Never
Buena
mind.
Vista.
Buena Vista.
Walt Disney.
Oh, Disney.
Disney.
At it again.
So now they're both owned by the same big mouse.
Now we can have the Independence Day Armageddon crossover that everyone's been begging for. We get Bruce in there.
Yeah.
We get Will back. We get Jeff Goldblum and another character that's in one of the movies. And they're all here
Yeah.
and ready to save the world from aliens and the big meteor that they've summoned, which I believe is what Armageddon's about.
Yeah, let's get Day After Tomorrow in there as well. They have to stop some global warming.
Like a big flood. Yeah. Man, Day After Tomorrow. That was such a weird bit. There's like a really extended sequence in Day After Tomorrow. It's set in like in the Natural History Museum, I think. And I think about that a lot. It's just like the whole world gets frozen over, but there's a really long sequence in a museum in that movie. That's all I care about.
Yeah, Day After Tomorrow, same director as this, by the way. Like, it is just kind of, he wanted to make this again, but make it a little more worried and, like, modern.
He has the technology for all these cars flying up and getting destroyed. And all he had to do was get James Cameron on the phone, and he's like, you know about water, right? If we could just if you could do some water for me, draw some of that in there, and I can use the same cars getting flung about a lot again. It'll be perfect.
Yeah, no one will know.
People will buy it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, James. See you at golf tomorrow. But yeah, they all fire the shots and the lasers and all these things explode. It looks really cool, and there's a big explosion, a wave of fire that erupts, destroying everything in its path.
Yeah, very devastating.
Yeah, we see the presidential plane taking off very comically as there's a massive explosion like directly behind it. Very funny to me that how close this plane is to getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also see that like this is followed again by the most like hokey shit ever. We see with Jasmine, Will Smith's wife here, future wife, and their son, in their car, like driving down this tunnel away from the danger, and this explosion just comes for them, and they run to the safety of this like maintenance hatch at the side of the tunnel, and they get in there, and then they like call out for the dog, and then action hero style, this Labrador just like jumps from car to car in like the worst green screen I've ever seen, and like leaps to safety through this maintenance hatch. Hilarious. I love that this is in the movie, but you can't kill a dog in this movie at all. No way. No one's ready. Will Smith will eventually have a dead dog in Iron Legend, but the world ain't ready yet, okay? They aren't. We want Will Smith's dog to be alive, and we get it here. It's a superhero dog that should have been the one to destroy the aliens.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's
And
so
then,
bad.
and then, it
Yes.
cuts to July 3rd as the
Yes.
title sequence. Right when the On the Run crash happens.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Perfect.
This whole explosion has taken place to On the Run, and it has ended exactly when On the Run crashes. Something you and I have been like, we've been thirsty for this to sync with something.
Yeah, man.
We've been in the mines hoping for a sync with this crash, and we got it, baby. We got it.
Finally.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's I was so
Yeah.
happy. I took a lap, Gareth. I paused the film,
Yeah.
I paused the music. Later on, I'd have to put that back together with a bit of maths and ingenuity, but it was worth it to take a victory lap around my flat. All right, because finally,
Yeah.
we got that on the run sync that we crave so badly. Oh, great stuff.
It was so tasty.
But yes, July 3rd. Also not Independence Day, if you check the calendar. We're not there
So
yet.
you know you've got another 2 days of story. And you
Yeah.
listeners have another 2 full days of listening to this podcast.
Yeah, I kind of wished that, like, in spite of this fantastic sync that we got, if each of the days that this movie took place on was, like, broken up by one playthrough of the album, that would have been great as well.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Yeah.
But no, worth it for this explosion sequence taking place over On the Run and culminating in this beautiful sync. So, it's absolutely fantastic. We get like a small shot of the Statue of Liberty decapitated in the water as a prelude to Planet of the Apes, and we got Russell and his back. We get to see him and Miguel and the other children that he cares for. I still don't understand this relationship. I think that he's supposed to be their dad, but he looks nothing like them. It's amazing.
I feel like he's like a stepdad who then the mum isn't really around anymore and he just still
guess
hangs
so.
out.
He's like a
Like kind of like
drunkard-
Josh from Clueless.
Oh god, that's really bleak, honestly. Though this is a dark future for clueless Josh.
Oh no. I didn't mean it like sorry. I meant like he's just, you know, maybe he was their like stepbrother or something, but he still hangs out because he's got nowhere else to go. But I
Yeah.
also like the idea that Josh from Clueless had a very crazy like 1 year in between these 2 films.
He became a drunk pilot.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would love that. I would love that if it wasn't played by the triple threat R here, and it was just played by old mate. What's his name from? Oh god, Clueless. My mind has completely been destroyed. I don't.
What, you
know.
mean Paul Randall Rudy Rudd?
Paul Randall Rudy Rudd? I wish it were him in this role.
Yeah.
If he just played a drunk pilot, get him as a drunk pilot in any movie.
Yeah.
Please. It'd be so good. Yes. Anyway, we get in the clocks going off as they tend to do after On the Run, and we see that the camper van park has been abandoned, and that's like not at all a sync after that tasty sync that we just had, but it's fine. I'm still
Yeah.
I'm still sated and satisfied from that.
Yeah,
previous
and we get
one.
like a lot of doom and gloom kind of during these dread drums of On the Run, so I'm happy with
Oh
that.
yeah, it's like we're seeing the like destruction across the cities. It's like gone full Mad Max out here now after everything's been wiped out by this big alien explosion. Very few survivors. We hear from the general guy that the helicopter with the first lady had lost contact, so she's presumed dead. Tragic. Yeah. The president's feeling really cut up about this whole thing because he was like, oh, we should have evacuated the cities earlier, but I wanted to try my helicopter plan. But yeah, didn't end up working out. He's cost the lives of so many people as president, and that's a feel bad, you know?
Yeah, that's a bad day.
That's a real bad day on July 3rd, you know? Mark it. But yeah, we do see that Jasmine and her son have survived the explosion with their sweet maintenance hatch escape. I don't think we see the dog ever again, but presumed alive.
Yeah, the dog hangs out for a bit. Don't
Goes
worry.
and becomes Mad Max's dog, maybe at
Yeah.
some point, like just out there in the wilderness. But yeah, she's doing her own thing, like trying to get her son through the. She has a whole different experience in this movie, like surviving the wastelands of like an alien invasion attack. You know, that's
Yeah.
like a whole different thing that's happening that I wish was explored more. It's great.
Yeah, this film could have easily become like a anthology show that just follows different characters going
Yeah.
about their lives as this happens.
That would have been cool. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
sort of like found footage Cloverfield style version of Independence Day. Where we get
Yeah.
people on the ground and their experiences when an alien invasion is happening in the background. That'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. It would also be great, like a character who doesn't realize it's happening.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Just like Will Smith type here, who's just like he never, never picks up never goes to get the paper and just spends all day inside while the alien invasion happens.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's like, man, these earthquakes.
yeah, woof. This is a real big earthquake. Looks outside and there's just a wall of fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Gosh. We're in time now, going to time playthrough 2. And they're planning a counterattack at Marines
Yeah.
HQ. Will Smith's getting ready to be deployed in the jet, and he's with his friend Jimmy, who was talking to him earlier at the locker room about being an astronaut or not getting accepted to NASA, etc. And they have a tradition where they will smoke a big old fat cigar if the mission is successful. Once they get back home, when the fat lady sings, is what they say. That's what they're excited to do. But that's what happens. It's great. They got this huge cigars. But yeah,
Yeah.
we don't get the payoff for them for a little while.
And you know who else likes to have a cigar?
Pink Floyd. That's
Pink
right.
Floyd love to have a cigar. Famously,
They
on
do.
the album after this one, they have one.
Yeah,
In fact,
but
they wait until battle's all over to have a cigar because they don't
That's
have
right.
the cigar until after they've finished playing the soundtrack to this movie.
they're in on this tradition with Jimmy and Captain Steven.
Yeah.
I do love that Will Smith's character's name is Captain Steven, by the way. I think that's really funny as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It just does not suit him.
No, super doesn't.
Although, neither does really the name Will Smith. Like, he's
Really?
too cool for that name. Yeah.
I think Will Smith's a very cool name. And I think
It's
it was
such a
made
common-
cool by him. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's my
like,
take
did
anyway.
you ever read the 3D illustrated novel, not novel, picture book, Web Willie in Cyberspace?
I did not. Tell me about it, though.
What?
please.
You didn't read Web Willie in Cyberspace?
No, Garrett.
I
feel
had,
you're
the-
potentially the only person who has.
I had the picture book, Web Willie in Cyberspace, before my family got the internet. That's
Wow.
how important
Damn.
this book was.
So,
So
hold
it
on.
was a... Yes.
Web Willie is like related to the World Wide Web then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not going to Google anything, I'm going entirely by memory. He
Sweet.
goes into the internet, he wears a cool costume, and when he's in the internet, you get to put on your 3D glasses and look
That
at
makes sense.
illustrations.
Yep.
But outside of the internet, he's just plain old Willie Smith. And
Oh,
I remember
man.
my dad and I reading that when I was a kid. I was going to say when we were kids. during that brief point when my dad got Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah. Young dad.
And my dad stopping the book and going, like Will Smith.
Yeah.
And that was when I realized Will Smith is such a common name.
There you go.
And the
Even
man is too
Web,
cool for
even
that name.
Web Willie has the same name.
Yeah.
That's how common it is. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh my god. I would love for you to find that copy of Web Willie in the World Wide Web or whatever it was, because that's just amazing. That sounds great.
Yeah. Do you think Will Smith... I would like to think Will Smith doesn't spend that much time on the internet.
I don't
And
think he does. I'm pretty
Nah.
sure he's sworn off the internet in general.
And it's probably entirely because there's already a Will Smith on that internet and it's Web Willie in cyberspace.
Yeah. There you go. It's taken. It's like Hollywood rules. He'd have to change his name to...
Yeah.
He'd have to actually change his Twitter handle to Web Willie in cyberspace. I think. In order to get
Yeah.
in order to be allowed back on the internet. You know, it's the rules. There are shoes that he has to fill, and if he doesn't, well, he's not up to the challenge. So
Nah.
he's gotta stay home and read books. I don't know. Oh God.
Ah.
Yes. So cigars, etc.
Yeah, cool.
They launch into the mission, and they launch their missiles at the ships, and it doesn't work. They hit the big shields that the alien ships obviously have. They've got these huge, like, reflecty shield things over them, and it's not very good. I've written that there's a ballet of jets in the air now as they sort of maneuver around, launching their attacks. And it works for me. Any kind of like dogfighting, flying, and stuff is going well with some Pink Floyd. So I'm excited because all these little ships, little fighter ships, erupt out of the big flying saucers, and they come in and attack. They're like X-wing equivalents, I guess. The bad guys' little fighter ships. And there's a big fight that happens, and they're getting absolutely creamed, getting destroyed out there. Everyone's dying. It's no good. Jimmy and Captain Steven split off from the group and go down into like a little canyon, and they are evading. But Jimmy does this weird maneuver where he's like, "I'm just gonna bank at 100, like as fast as this plane will go. I'm gonna decide to go straight up in the air," and just destroys his own body with G-force. I'm pretty sure is what happens here.
Yeah.
It's really awful. And then, he gets shot and killed by the aliens. It's a weird maneuver that a practice pilot would do, but it's... Anyway, poor Jimmy. He doesn't get to have a cigar. Sadly not. I guess we'll see him in the next album, or I don't know. See you later, mate.
See him on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, we'll see you on the dark side of the moon, Jimmy. But also, meanwhile, while this is happening, all the air bases around the world are being attacked by these little fighter planes that have all come out. All the alien ships are zooming in and attacking the planes that are on the ground. And so there's not a lot that gets saved. All the munitions basically get destroyed. It's not looking good. But Captain Steve is doing some, like, pod racing shit down in this canyon. I don't know where he's meant to be right now, but it's weird that he's flying a fighter jet in the canyon to begin with.
Yeah, just trying to do some avoidance.
Yeah, he manages to evade this fighter quite successfully, and then blocks its view with his parachute, which he deploys out the back of the jet, which I assume jets have. Because he has a spare one later, but and like tricks it into hitting the top of this ledge and destroying the ship, partially stopping it from flying anyway. And he manages to eject out of his ship just before it explodes against the cliff face. It's lucky the alien ship wasn't destroyed in this maneuver as well, because it's pretty important that the alien survives here. But anyway.
Yeah.
But I do love this little sequence of him, like, walking up to the alien ship, like, yelling abuse at it, and then, like, cracking open the pod and seeing this little, like, alien face and fucking socking him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, punching an alien in the face is such a good vibe. It's such a great thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, he yells out.
It looks real satisfying.
He yells out, "Welcome to Earth," which is so good. And then, he's like sitting on top of this alien spacecraft after punching an alien in the face, and he's like, "Now's the time. I'm going to light my stogie up." Lights his little cigar. And I mean, fair enough. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
He says he delivers a second one-liner, as you say is tradition for Will Smith, and he says, "That's what I call a close encounter." Amazing stuff. Oh, got him. This poor alien. Not only has his ship been destroyed, but he's been destroyed emotionally. Oh no. We get into money, and Jasmine is like got a little truck where she's picking up survivors, doing her little thing, like the Furiosa of the desert, picking up people and saving them. Good
Heck
times.
yeah.
David is still in this presidential plane and getting airsick up here. Jeff Goldblum boy. And his ex-wife comes over to thank his dad for coming in with the info. It's a weird little interaction there, being like, thanks for using your weird little technology to triangulate my position in the White House. Thanks for that. So the next stage is the president's discussing a nuclear strike on the aliens, because they're sort of run out of options at this point. And David overhears this because he's sick in the plane, and he's like, you'll cause nuclear winter. You'll doom literally everyone on Earth if you do this, because the world will follow suit of what America does. They will fire their nukes as well and just plunge the Earth into a nuclear winter, which is bad. It's not a good plan. But that's sort of a last resort move. So yeah. And the dad, David's dad comes in and is like, now, gosh, like, shouldn't you be more prepared, you bloody assholes? You had all this time from Area 51 and Roswell. Don't you remember? And there's like, people are exchanging looks like, oh my God, like this guy. Oh, there's a conspiracy theorist aboard this presidential plane, all right? And then the Secretary of Defense gets a real sheepish look on his face. And he's like, well, actually... Actually, Area 51, it's all true, baby. just wild. I love it that Area 51 is real in Independence Day. It's very good.
Yeah. So the army were going to let them film in real bases and stuff, but then they pulled out when they heard the script reference to Area 51. Which is
Fair enough.
Pretty suspicious.
I mean, they probably didn't want... like the circulation of Area 51 is real and aliens are real to go around, because that's so annoying, man. They must be so frustrated out at Roswell with all that shit still going on. Like,
yeah, that must be like
serious
military
military
base.
base.
The emails they get.
Oh, it'd be the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, so yeah, it's real, and that's where they're headed to now aboard the presidential plane. It's kind of wild that it was kept secret from the president if it was real, but yeah. Yes, hilarious. We cut to Captain Steve, who's dragging the alien across the desert with towards Roswell, I think, with his little like the alien's wrapped up in the parachute.
Yeah.
And he's taking him all the way. You see his little like dangly tentacles. It's hilarious. And he gets picked up.
This like beautiful. Oh, sorry.
No. You go.
This beautiful salt desert that he's in as well. Like looks amazing, and like also led to Will Smith getting a lot of sunburns on his lower legs because the salt would reflect up onto his legs through his pants. Yeah,
that's awful. God, ow.
Yeah, but when he yells like so furiously about what is that smell, that was apparently improvised because he was just so angry getting burned up in that stinky, salty desert.
The smell of his cooking legs.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's the real smell. Oh, God. That's bleak. But anyway, he's picked up by old mate Russell and his army of caravans who are just rolling in. Hilarious. And they... We cut now to Area fucking 51. Here we are. I do love it's weird, straight into Us and Them, which in my notes I've written is the Alien National Anthem. So the next time we've got, previously we had everyone freaking out, and now we're inside Area 51. We're at the introduction of that stage of the space opera that is Independence Day, Gareth. So there you go. I love the decor in Area 51. It's all like red and white, and like everything's very like there's big glass panels that slide. It's like a Star Trek set. It's very enjoyable.
Yes, for sure.
There's all these dudes in like full-on hazmat white surgical suits, and they're wandering around because they're dealing with the alien stuff, you know. So good. And yeah, there's a line about the president. Why wasn't the president informed? And the general's just like, 2 words, son. plausible deniability. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. And they've been paying for it by like overcharging the government for chairs and staplers and stuff.
Yeah, okay. It's
Why
it's
not?
it's kind of a fun gag, honestly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, the head scientist here, played by Brent Spiner, perfectly cast and made up in this movie. He's got the big, wild, crazy Doc Brown hair, which
Yeah.
is like ideal for the head of Area 51 to have. Of course, he's like a cartoon character just in this movie.
Yeah.
Very good. He describes like the next thing that he wants to show them is the hot tamale or the big tamale, I think he says, which is so good. And it turns out to be one of these bloody fighter like alien ships from the spacecraft. It's one of the same ones that they had, but it's the one that crashed at Roswell, Area 51. There you go.
Yeah.
And so they've bloody known about this for 60 odd years or round thereabouts, right? And
Yeah.
so I feel like they should have maybe seen this coming, right? It's the same ships that are now invading. Yeah, it's problematic that they have kept this a secret in this movie.
Yeah.
It's doomed
I
the
guess-
lives of millions.
Yeah,
So
it all happens really fast, I guess, but it's like, you still had enough time to be like, oh, yeah, we've seen this before.
yeah,
Let's, I don't know, chuck one of its old ships at it. See what happens.
yeah. Anyway. But yeah, the ship's starting to like wake up again because the aliens are back, so that confirms that it's like one of the same ones. So they're getting it to work.
Yeah.
They also have the specimens of the aliens stored in little pods, like rotting away. These are the ones that crashed on Earth back in the day. So maybe this is all just a revenge plot from the aliens after like losing some of their own here on Earth. After
Ooh.
it's all our fault because they crashed on Earth.
Yeah. Maybe
don't
they're
know.
trying to do a cocoon and come back and rescue them.
Oh,
But they're not very good at using their technology and they've just hit it to blast.
man,
instead.
yeah. This is what happens if you don't get a amicable cocoon situation with the aliens. This is a cautionary tale. Just got to get the olds involved. They'll help
Yeah.
help it along, right? They're good boys, good folks.
Yeah, if it had been an old president, we would have all been fine.
That's the real lesson. That's why we've only had old presidents for so
Yeah.
long, because we're hoping for a cocoon situation when the aliens finally invade. Oh my god. Okay. Yes, but anyway, they're hoping that David can help them out with some more of his technological savviness, because he was able to decode the old binary countdown from earlier. And he was like, this is not the same thing. These are aliens. I don't know anything about them. But anyway. Meanwhile, Captain Stephen rolls up on Area 51 with his alien in the back of a ute. And he's like, let me in. And the people on guard are like, oh shit, that's an alien. And you go, sir. And yeah, we find out that the defenses of America are down to 15% of what they once were after the onslaught by the aliens, which is insane that they managed to destroy so much. Very tragic. Over the lines, the old man died played over this, and it's like, oh yeah, there we go. And just before we head into any color you like, of course. Yeah, the president realizes that the world is being exterminated by these bloody alien scum, and the captain is like fairly stressed out. Captain Steve, he's wanting to go back to his base and find his future wife, hoping that they haven't been destroyed by aliens. But no, unfortunately, the base is completely destroyed as they're part of the 85% that got completely wrecked. So it's not looking good. But luckily, we cut to Jasmine, who is still out in the city saving people, and I believe this is where she discovers the president's wife, the first lady,
The first lady.
out in the wilderness here, and saves her. So that's cool. She's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they just have sort of a pleasant chat out in the wilderness, talking about how the relationship between Jasmine and Captain Stephen here. It's all good. Just nice times. And the first lady's
Yeah.
like, "You recognize me as the first lady?" It's like, "Yeah, well, I voted for the other guy, so it was a bit awkward." It's like, all right, I'm glad that this is in the movie.
Yeah. It does feel like we made sure we weren't watching the extended version.
Yeah.
But there's so many scenes where you're like, okay, kind of like
I would, yeah.
nice, but I don't know.
So weird that it's
Need
here.
it?
Just the fact that it takes 19
Yeah.
minutes to get to Will Smith is like, it made me feel like an extended edition, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll keep on soldiering on. We got Brain Damage playing as the alien autopsy begins with this live specimen that's been brought back. They cut into its like little armored carapace, but it comes to life mid-surgery. We see its little like it's got little like reflective eyes, which is kind of a weird touch for an alien, but I like it. It's very scary.
Yeah.
And it communicates like psychically through the doctor by like holding him up to the window of this observation room and talks through him, which is really spooky and great. The alien design is pretty cool as well. They've got these like cool
Yeah.
backwards legs, you know, very like Triffid-like. It's very fun. Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they were apparently presented with two alien designs, and they just took their favorite parts and put them together.
Oh, okay. That tracks.
Yeah. Tracks with this whole film.
Yeah, it does. It feels like an amalgam, but anyway. But yeah, the communicating through the voice of the doctor, it like demands that he gets released and sent back, and tells them that there's never going to be peace between the aliens and Earth. It's just like they're not going to agree to any kind of peace. And the president's like, "Well, what do you want us to do?" And he's like, "Die." Thanks, aliens.
Yeah.
Cheers for that. Great stuff. So yeah, aliens confirmed evil here. And over this, when this happens, we cut to the little vocal indent in Brain Damage where it says, "I can't think of anything to say." Which is, yeah, how do you follow that one? Like, all right, I guess that's how it goes. Oh my God, my notes have gotten absolutely destroyed here. Typically, as I'm writing notes, they go really fast, and sometimes they get butchered by autocorrect. But my Eclipse note here is just like indecipherable. It says that the president's moon is attacked, and I don't think that's correct. I think, yeah, his mind gets attacked, I think is what this is supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And he like gets shown visions of them like parasitically destroying planets, and that's what the aliens' MO is. That's what they're all about. But of course, the people around him spring into action and fill this alien full of lead, taking it out. You will be the one who dies, alien. That'll show you.
Yeah.
Great. And after seeing this, it's time. The president has decided that he wants to nuke them. It's like that's the next move as we move into the end of the playthrough 2 of the album, going into playthrough 3, Gareth, the heartbeats, as he gives the order.
Yes.
Yes.
I will say this playthrough not as strong as playthrough 1. But
No.
I think I've got good feelings about playthrough 3. I reckon
Playthrough 3.
they're going to be real nice to us.
Oh, I hope so. It starts up with a little argument between David and his ex-wife. He says that he's like having like a mental breakdown because the world's about to end. Because they're going with the nuclear option, which he warned everyone against. So he's certain that everyone's going to die, which is pretty awful. And he's saying what he always wanted to say to his ex-wife. He says that he never stopped loving her, but that wasn't enough for you, was it? It's like, oh, goodness me. And Captain Stephen's also in a bleak state. He thinks his future wife is out there dead somewhere, and his home is destroyed, and it's not looking good. But he resolves to go and look for her. He steals a helicopter, and there's a guy who like levels a gun at him, and he's like, "You're not gonna shoot me, man. The world is ending." And the guy's like, "Yeah, all right. See you later. You can have a helicopter." It's not like we're down to 15% of our of our
Yeah.
munitions or anything, but you go ahead, sir. Oh. Anyway, they launched the nuclear attack over Breathe. We've escalated again to stealth bombers now. Previously, we had the dogfighting jets, and now we've got stealth bombers rolling in over Breathe. This is the most silent of breaths, Gareth, over Breathe.
Oh yeah.
They're ready to drop a nuke on this big ship, and they give the order, and it hits the target, and it's great. All the visuals are knocked out after this attack, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got him. We can't see it in the cloud. It's gone. It's gone. We did it." But no, it's still there, hanging in the sky. Oh, it's awful. I think we get into On the Run as that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got...
It's kind of like, it's a bummer of a scene, because it's just like, again, the planes shooting things didn't really work.
Yep, same thing again. And this time with a nuke, which presumably like started the launching of nukes across the globe, according to what David theorized, right? Other people probably tried this as well and caused a huge amount of nuclear fallout, which is never addressed again, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they saw it didn't work, and they were like, "Oh, phew."
Yeah, maybe the
Just sheepishly
alien
pushed their nukes back down.
yeah, maybe the alien shield like neutralized the nuclear blast somewhat and didn't cause widespread death. One can only hope. But yeah, anyway, we cut to the helicopter where old mate Captain Stephen has discovered the survivors, his wife out here in the wilderness, amazingly, miraculously.
Yeah.
And he rescues them. It does even coincide with a chopper noise within On the Run, which I like, him rolling in. So that's pretty good. That's a nice wee sync there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the First Lady has been rescued and is now in like a hospital bed, but she's bleeding internally and will die, which is awful.
Yeah.
They go to all this trouble to save her, only to have this like heart-wrenching goodbye scene with the president and his daughter just having to say goodbye to the mother. It's awful. Yeah, she just dies in a hospital bed over the crash coincided. The crash and On the Run doesn't coincide with anything except them like seeing each other, basically. And then the clocks in time coming in as we see the shot of the president's daughter like just being hit in the face with the knowledge that everyone dies.
Yeah.
Which is what time's about, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty much. And also it's like that is a big awakening, much like what clocks usually do for you. Alarm
exactly. Clocks. She says, "Is Mummy sleeping now?" Oh. It's awful. Yeah. Seems to know what's up there. Doesn't need Pink Floyd to tell her. But there we go. We fade to black on this, and here we are. The day is here, Gareth. Mark it on your calendar. It's Independence Day, baby. July 4th.
Oh, yes.
And it opens with David's dad just rolling around Area 51. They've got full clearance to do kind of whatever, I think.
Yeah.
And David's here, just drunk off his ass, destroying property.
Yeah, making a mess.
Yeah. He's sick of this end of the world thing. He's so angry, and he's drunk, and fair play. But his dad comes over and consoles him, and is like, "Oh, you'll be all right." Talks to him a little bit about faith, and it's lovely. And he says, "Now get up off that concrete floor. I don't want you to catch a cold." And hearing this, David has a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. He just comes up with an ingenious plan through the largest logical leap in history, I believe. Oh
my gosh, yeah.
He explains this a little bit later when he gets everyone around the big ship here that they have captured. And he says, well, catching a cold, that's like a virus. And you know what could save the day? Goddamn computer virus. The cold of computers. What? And that's his dad came up with that great idea, Gareth. Ingenious. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, okay. Are you aware of a film radio play hoax, Tom Cruise film called War of the Worlds?
I am aware of the radio play hoax Tom Cruise film War of the Worlds, yes. Great soundtrack.
Well, in the film radio play Tom Cruise film hoax War of the Worlds, the aliens are defeated by germs.
That's true.
It's an amazing, beautiful
spoilers
irony that their technology couldn't protect them from something as simple as germs.
Yeah.
This is just that, but it's a computer virus because it's the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's not as clever.
No.
But and it doesn't tip its hat to being like, oh, it's like in this old film, radio play hoax, Tom Cruise film. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's shockingly bad. This whole plan is hilarious. It's the dumbest thing. And the execution of the plan is almost as glorious as this sequence, honestly. Like it's seeing it unfold before our eyes is just it's just so silly and so 90s and just a fun time, Gareth. I'm so happy to have viewed it. War of the Worlds, Tom Cruise film, etc., takes itself far too seriously by comparison. So there you go. Goodness me. But yes, the computer virus plan. They're going to put the computer virus in this little ship and dock with the spaceship because the ship is now working, obviously, because the aliens are in range finally. So plan is fly this thing to space, inject a computer virus into the mainframe of the alien ship using Windows 95, and then use that to break down their systems and control of their ships on the ground, around Earth's surface, and attack them directly with the remaining 15% of the forces that America has, and also hopefully the rest of the world will help out as well. That's the plan that David has put together, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that sounds great."
Yeah.
Because that's sort of all they have left at this point is listening to David. We get Captain Steve coming in and volunteering for this dangerous space mission because he's always wanted to be an astronaut, as we remember. So he's going to go into space, and they take away the little clamps underneath the ship to prove that it flies, and it's just hovering under its own power. And a very David S. Pumpkins line, our boy says, "Any questions?" It's great. But yeah, we go into a great gig now as the president decides now is the time to fire his Secretary of Defense. He calls him a sniveling weasel, which is awful.
Yeah.
Very nasty. He's
apparently.
I feel like you don't want to lose any staff at this point in an alien invasion. I feel like even if you don't like someone or they've made some bad calls, I don't think you need to fire anyone right now. You sort of need everyone you have. Wouldn't be making rash managerial decisions right now.
Yeah. Interestingly, this is apparently based on what they wanted to tell a producer on the last film that the director worked on.
Wow. So it's just like...
Or that they did say. It was just...
It's just some like weird Hollywood beef injected into this movie then.
Yeah, it's a bit of life fan fiction they decided to have.
Great. It serves literally no purpose and shouldn't have been in the film. Calling it here. Not a director. I don't work in Hollywood, but yeah, this is pointless.
Yeah.
It only serves to obfuscate the point of the film. So anyway, I do like the next sequence though, and that's everyone getting on the bloody Morse code and talking around the world, sending out the signal that the Americans have this plan, and the world is responding. They're like, "Sounds great. We've got no plan, so cool. We'll do whatever you want." And so yeah, the world comes together for their Futurama gonna happen. Launching a counter-offensive against the aliens, Gareth. That's the plan. They also don't have enough pilots because all the pilots are bloody dead to the explosion. Oh,
Yeah.
what a terrible circumstance. Don't worry. Cut to Russell hearing about the job. Old drunken Russell, you wondered how he was going to be involved in the film. Well, here you go. He gets his
Yeah,
shining light.
finally.
He volunteers for the old gig, and we get a bit of a sequence of him like drinking Irish coffee at the orientation to flying a fighter jet to fight aliens, which like John C. McGinley or whoever it is has to run. Who is this guy? He's in Firefly. I can't remember his name.
Oh, this is Patrick Baldwin? Adam Baldwin?
Oh, okay. He's a
The Baldwin who's not a Baldwin.
The
Adam Baldwin.
the non-Baldwin Baldwin. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love this guy.
Yeah.
He plays like a generic army guy here. Who?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he's great. He's doing this seminar, and old mate Russell stands up and pledges his service. He's very excited, and he says, "Oh, and also I was abducted by aliens, so it'd be nice to get some revenge." It's like, okay, great. Let's put you behind the controls of a fighter plane. Excellent. Let's go. There's a very quick marriage ceremony performed between Jasmine and Captain Stephen with like a priest that they have on site, or like a just a military officer, I think, probably performing this ceremony, which I think is they're allowed to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Why not?
it's great. David and Constance show up as witnesses as well. And she notices at this point that David never took off his wedding band and sort of falls in love with him again. Weird 90s shit right there. And yeah, we get into a bit of Money and Money Solo rolling in as the president is given his final speech, Gareth, his rousing address to the nation about Independence Day and how, remember Independence Day, guys? Remember what that was all about? Well, here we go. America's got to do it a bloody again, but this time we're fighting against aliens and the annihilation of Earth, baby. Let's go. Up in our planes, let's fight for the world this time. Independence Day. Woo! That's the speech.
Yeah, wow. I didn't realize you had the script open.
Yeah. And yeah, it's everyone bloody loves that speech because who wouldn't? And they're all cheering. It's great. It's good vibes.
Yeah.
The president himself is gonna fly a plane as well because it was established earlier that he's a pilot and he is gonna get amongst. Even though people at the start of the film said he was too young, he's here to fly a plane and save the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. There's a fair bit of tearful farewells that play out between David and his family and Jasmine and Captain Stephen. Everyone waves goodbye, and yeah, they go on their merry way on this mission. We get a fucking so here in the ship, in the alien ship, David busts out his little laptop again with the cup holder and the disc drive, and on screen, Gareth, there's a little 2001 reference. I was shocked.
Ooh.
I was shocked to see HAL 9000, the little AI computer from that movie, is here on his screen. I don't know why this is in the film.
Oh no. Yeah, he's the last person you want.
Exactly. If you're going into space, right, you don't want HAL 9000 tagging along. He's going to ruin the whole mission. That's his whole plan. Has he seen the movie? I don't know. But anyway, it's a little throwaway reference in this movie that is here, and it's so strange, but it's great. Also, we get a rehash of the scene with Jimmy where David is now given a cigar, just like before, and he's like, not until the fat lady sings. So they have these cigars ready to go for when the mission is finished.
Yeah.
Great. Sweet. Go into Us and Them, and they start flying the ship. There's a really, really dumb sequence where the post-it note that with the controls of the ship's like layout is upside down on the console, and so they accidentally crash backwards. It's very silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they fly out into space, and David gets air sick because of course he does. He's in space. He gets space sick.
Yeah.
Poor boy.
There's no air in space.
There's no air in space. Gareth. In space, there's a little triangular portal, and then they're inside. There's a bunch of like weird alien architecture as we're getting the piano refrain of us and them playing again. Here, the final part of us and them. We're assaulting the alien ship from within. This is the Cliff's Notes version of the movie, and here we are. I feel like we've covered it, right?
Yeah.
We've got everyone stressing out about alien invasion. We've got Roswell, Area 51, and then within a spaceship assaulting it from within here. Crazy. That's it. That's Independence Day. That's all you need.
Yeah. See you on the dark side of the moon.
Woo! And yeah, there's like the interior of the spaceship is like very strange. I don't know who designed this or whatever, but it's all like these weird towers and things. There's an inverted pyramid made of technology. Looks great. David deploys the virus on his little computer. There's a little skull and crossbones to tell us that it's a real virus. A little ASCII friend here. The aliens don't know what to do because they don't have Windows 95 in space. It hasn't reached them yet.
No.
And it successfully uploads to the mainframe of the old spaceship. It's very silly, but yeah, they do that. They even close the little shutters so that the aliens can't see what they're doing in there, because apparently they have control over that within the spaceship. It's great. Meanwhile, back on Earth, all the pilots roll out and try to take down the ships, the big ships, by launching the missiles at them. But they don't work. One of the missiles collides with the shield, and they're like, shit, let's turn back. Mission failed. But no, the Prez is like, nah, I'm going to try another one of my missiles. He's not given up just yet after one missile. And I'm so glad that he didn't give up, because it does work. Direct hit on the ship. A5. Take down the battleship, baby. So it's another dogfight now. It's a huge space combat sequence that opens up. We cut between this and like the boys up in space that have been like clamped and can't escape even after deploying their virus. So they're just sort of trapped there. They do like a fun little hiding sequence behind the console because they think they're going to die up in space in an alien ship, you know. And yeah, they... we get shots of like the bloody army folk and the camper van people outside Area 51 all running inside because they didn't think to go inside while this whole sequence was happening. I don't know why this is here, but they sure get attacked just for added drama down on the ground. Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, behind the console of the little alien ship, they've decided that they aren't going to make it, and the boys light up their cigars, and have a little heart to heart. They're just like, here we go. The fat lady sure has sung, and we're sure dead up in space. But they back down on Earth. We go to the president launching a missile, trying to get a missile into the little port that the laser shoots out of at the bottom of the big spaceship. You know. Very Star Wars, trying to shoot this missile.
The space bud.
Yeah, the big space bud on the ship. Yeah, very Star Wars here, trying to get like a missile into a certain location, even though this is huge in comparison to the Star Wars Death Star scene, but whatever. He fucks it up and shoots the like little aperture arm thing that comes down, and so never mind, it's not going to work. They can't destroy the ship that way. But who should arrive? But it's bloody Russell. He's actually sober for once because he had that coffee earlier, and now he's doing okay. And he's ready because he's got a missile of his own that he wants to launch. And they're like, okay, great. And so they do some maneuvers and get him into position. And Russell, he sacrifices himself, Gareth. He flies his plane straight into the path of the laser after it jams in his little ship.
Yeah.
And it's great. He starts screaming at the aliens from inside his cockpit. It's hilarious. I'm glad he's off mic for this because he says, he tells his children, he's like, tell my boys that I love them. And then he just starts yelling abuse at these aliens. as we get
Yeah,
into...
he's also trying the Will Smith method of every single one-liner he can think of.
Yeah, but it's a bit more frantic in that he's behind his like plane controls and trying to do this insane maneuver. So fair play to him for them not landing. But yeah, so right as we get into Eclipse, like is when he says goodbye to his boys, and then we get him shouting abuse as Eclipse is playing, and the whole ship explodes. The laser fires, and his bomb goes off. And it explodes right on the final chord of Eclipse.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and as the audio tails out for us, the ship is all exploding within and crashing into the earth, and we get shots of everyone celebrating inside the airbase. It's great, a fantastic moment.
Fan bloody tastic. Playthrough 3 has served us so well.
Yes,
Even if it's just for this.
Premium stuff. Like again on the right on the buzzer, we've got a fantastic sync. We've got the on the sync in playthrough 2, and we got this one, and it's like, oh yeah, hell yes.
You know that scene you didn't like? That was actually just there to help the sync.
Yep, there you go. They had to pad it out just to get it there.
Yeah.
You know? They were thinking. They had the Floyd on in the editing bay, and they were like, all right, boys, what can we do? We've got to put Hell 9000 in the movie. We'll get him in there. We just need a few more seconds just to pad it out so that it explodes right on the end of Eclipse, okay? Yeah, exactly. So poor Miguel, we cut to everyone celebrating inside the little airbase, right? And old mate from Firefly comes over, Baldwin is here, and he's like, your dad's did a very brave thing, boy.
Yeah.
He sacrificed himself for the good of the world, boy. Now, this sucks. I hate that this is in the movie. I feel like this is like a direct call out for like American kids being like, your dad who's gone to war and he died, well, he was a brave man who did glorious things, right? I feel like it's direct army propaganda in this movie. Like more,
for sure.
More oblique than, like more obvious than any other thing. Is this one scene with Miguel just being like, yeah, my dad was a great man. He was a drunken crop duster who made poor decisions and was abducted by aliens.
Yeah, who crop dusted the wrong farm, but... Oh.
But listen, when he joined the army, man, he became a hero, okay? There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Dave and Steve, up in space, the boys resigned to their fates. But as we get into the fourth play of the album, they decide that it's all over, and they launch their little bomb into the base with the timer on it, and they're like, okay, we're gonna die here. So that's the play. But they managed to, in launching it, they managed to break away from the little clamp that was clamping them onto the ship. And so they're like, oh shit, put the cigars out.
Yeah.
We've got time. So they frantically put those out and overbreathe. They're trying to escape the ship in a very dramatic scene, getting shot at by many little fighter jet things, alien jets, chasing them down. There's a narrow escape out of the aperture of the docking bay, and Will Smith yells out, "Elvis has left the building," which again is a one-liner. He doesn't have a second one to offer up here, but it's fine.
Jeff Goldblum gives them the second one of the "Thank you very much" Elvis impression.
Oh, does he? Oh my gosh, I was busy.
They've
typing.
synced now.
Oh my god, they've become one. At the end of this film.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
all Will Smith needed was a friend to do his second one-liners.
Yeah,
that's why he always says two.
He was hoping for Jimmy to be that friend, but unfortunately he did that weird maneuver. Just died.
Yeah, oh Jimmy.
Very unceremoniously. Yeah, shout outs to you, Jimmy. So the mothership...
You were supposed to be played by Matthew Perry.
Oh, really? Wow. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Man, okay. Never mind. Imagine if Matthew Perry was in Independence Day. If he was up there on the poster. Dang.
Could he be any less in Independence Day?
I don't think so. Oh, no. Yeah, so they manage to escape, and then the mothership detonates behind them. The little bomb does way more than they thought it would. I think it was like a nuclear weapon. I'm not entirely sure, but it definitely blows up this alien ship in a huge blue explosion. And yeah, they get hurtling towards Earth and then like engulfed in the explosion, and we don't see what happens to them, so it's no good.
Yeah.
On the run,
But we do see, like, after we've seen New York and the world explode to some On the Run, we now see the aliens' world, their big capital spaceship explode to On the Run. And it's pretty nifty.
There we go. That's a cross playthrough sync. Yeah. Nice one.
Yeah.
So back into On the Run as we're back in Area 51 as everyone's celebrating. The president's back after his dog fighting. He picks up his daughter and embraces her. It's lovely. And they can't find the boys, but suddenly they pick something up on the radar and they drive back across that salt desert location that they were at earlier. And here they are, the boys.
All sunburning their legs.
Yeah, they're sunburning their legs out here. They're wearing their fighter pilot costumes that I don't think they were wearing before. They've both got aviators on, and they're smoking some cigars, another pair of cigars that he has, that they're just having a go at. They've been freshly lit so they could do this dramatic walk up. They both get embraced by their partners, and yeah, it's great. There's a bit of back and forth about like cigars being bad for your health, but no one caring because it's the fucking end of the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is as we go into the fourth playthrough of this album. There's a handshake between the president and David. They've made amends after this weird interaction where like I forgot to cover this earlier, but David once punched the president. We got move past it, but that's weird that's another plot point in this movie. They were like, oh, it was before he was
out of like a
president. I don't
jealousy
that,
and not
man.
trusting his wife.
Yeah, that sucks. No wonder he like. I think that's the like impetus for their divorce, right? And that he thought that his wife was with the president, but really they just have a work relationship. It's messed up. So he bloody threw a punch. But anyway, David's like come full circle when they're friends now after this weird, very weird interaction involving the end of the human race. And yeah, they finish up the movie basically. Yeah, there's not a lot more to say. There's just positive vibes. Yeah.
One big thing to say is, how does this film end, James?
Well,
it ends exactly on the run crash.
It sure does. So we've got Happy 4th of July is what he says to his son as they look over at the spaceship burning in the background. Very bad CGI here. They look up into the sky and they're like, I promised you fireworks, didn't I, son? As all these like meteors are streaking in overhead, all fallout from this massive alien spaceship explosion, almost certainly dooming the Earth. Here.
Oh yeah.
Huge
Doing
amounts,
equal damage.
Huge amounts of fallout from a massive ship not being very far away and being destroyed very close to the vicinity of the Earth. Definitely going to be ramifications from that. But that's our final shot of the movie as we get right into the crash sound and On the Run, presumably syncing up with the destruction of Earth. And yeah, credits. What did you think? How did it sync? Oh, that was a marathon.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like I have been the aliens blasting myself.
Yeah?
Oh, whoa. But, mate, when it comes to the raw sinkage of this film, you can't deny. It's like Will Smith's star power. Like,
Dude.
The producers could try to cut it out, but it's here.
It was out of control how well this synced up, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was, like there were so many little parts of this movie that were completely unnecessary for it to be in the film. But looking at the context of Dark Side and the Moon, Dark Side of the Moon playing in the background. It just works. It's there to make the big moments sync up. It was there. That was why they put in all these little silly things in the movie.
Yeah.
You know? And I can't argue with that.
No.
I feel like I've become a conspiracy theorist over the course of this podcast, Gareth. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to sound insane when I say this is our first 10 out of 10 film. Gareth.
Yeah.
Gareth.
Light that cigar, baby. That is a 10 out of 10.
The Fat Lady is sung. This is
Yeah.
a film that is designed to be synced up with Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And I don't think
Pink Floyd got in the studio in the 70s and wrote their album to this film.
Yeah. I think
We'll
that's
figure
right.
out how it happened, but
I don't know. I don't know how it happened. Maybe there was some kind of alien control situation, some kind of psychic energy from the future coming back to the boys in the Floyd. But
yeah.
that's the only logical explanation for why all this synced up, okay?
Yeah. Why else could this film have been such a hit when it's so weird and long and nihilistic?
Exactly.
It had to be because we were getting the runoff Floyd vibes.
It had to be. People heard something in the back of their consciousness. Something left over from 1973, Gareth.
Yeah.
Just lurking in the depths. And they were like, maybe this movie's okay.
Yeah. 33 years later, which, vinyl comes in 33s.
There you go. I don't know. I'm feeling that this is the best time to be dishing out a 10 out of 10. That's it.
Yeah. And the best part is, like, if someone gets 2.5 hours into this podcast, they'll know we got a 10.
Yeah.
I think maybe some people will probably jump out about the time Web Willie in cyberspace comes up.
No way.
And they're just going to forever doubt how that 10 happened.
Listen. If you don't become a conspiracy theorist listening to this podcast, if you get through this exact situation that us, the boys, have gone through, watching Independence Day sync to Dark Side of the Moon, and you don't believe that it syncs, you're crazy.
Yeah, you're the conspiracy theorist believing in a fake Law and Order, man.
Madness. You're mad. You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
You gotta believe. The truth is out
Gotta
there.
believe. Yeah. And the truth is in here, in this podcast.
In this podcast. Well,
yeah.
We've only bloody gone and done it, Gareth. And I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
But I feel like this isn't out to end the podcast forever, by the way. If we wanted to do that, this is like an opportunity. I'm just bringing it up as a potential
Don't
out.
bring it up after... Don't bring it up after 2.5 hours of me being locked in my cupboard recording.
No.
Bring it up after a fun time.
Gareth, we're only allowed to end the show if we get a 10 out of 10. And I've got to do my due diligence. Until the next 10 out of 10, we have to keep going.
Oh, no.
Okay? So, are you still willing to do the show?
Should we leave it on a cliffhanger?
Oh my god, yes.
Check your podcast.
If we were to return next week, Gareth, what would we be watching?
Well, we've got a lot of result from this big film, this big podcast about a big album, and everything's pointing to those 3 letters, B-I-G. So let's watch Tom Hanks in Big.
Ah, yes. Tom Hanks, my boy, the big boy.
Yeah. The villain from You've Got Mail.
Yes, let's see him again, but see him when he's big. All right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gosh, I feel like the character in Big, like I've grown 30 years doing this episode.
That's exactly how I feel as well.
And I love it.
We should bring it to a close, and I feel confident that we'll be back next week, but if not, so long.
Yeah. And until who knows when, we might see you On the dark side of the moon?
On the dark side of the moon. Goodbye. Nah, we'll definitely be back.